What's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review a new series that I just got through watching. Well, I watched the first episode on Hulu, and that series is titled Kindred. Now, what is Kindred? If you don't know, Kindred is a based on the book of the same name. It was a huge hit book. It's still a hugely popular science fiction book written by the late great Octavia Butler. I've never actually read this book. Shame on me. I got to read the book. And I'm a big book reader. I don't know how this one missed me, but I have friends that swear by this book that it's just one of the greatest pieces of literature ever. They just love this book, and it's still hugely popular. So I'm definitely going to read the book. But Kindred basically is about a young lady who's a writer. Well, in this instance, in the series, she's an aspiring writer who decides to uproot from New York, Brooklyn, New York, to LA to be closer to her aunt and uncle. Apparently, her parents are deceased. Grandma left her the house, the brownstone in Brooklyn, but she wants to uproot and come down to LA because Auntie is always telling her, "Oh, girl, I can't. It'd be so nice if we were closer." So now here she is. Now it opens up. The first scene when it opened, I was like, what's going on? She was really frantic. The house was empty. And she's like typing to somebody. I'm like, what in the world is going on? So she basically comes to LA. This scene, I'm hooked instantly. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I knew the premise. The premise is this is a young lady who time travels. She doesn't know how she's doing it. She time travels from modern day time now to back to the slavery days. And I'm like, whoa, okay, interesting. So I'm invested. So like I said, I have not read the book, and I know there's some people saying that there's some changes that they made here that were not in the book, and that's upset some people. Me being someone who has not read the book, I'm enjoying what I'm watching so far. So anyway, Dana goes to lunch. First of all, she late. She come late. Some people don't like that. Her uncle is agitated. He's like, oh, she late. The aunt is like, no, it's only 15 minutes. The uncle is pissed off. So she comes into the restaurant, and they're like, so, Dana, what you doing here? She's like, surprise, I live here. That wasn't the surprise they wanted. They was like, what you mean you live here? The uncle was like, how can you afford to live here? Bro, how you could afford to live here? So she explains to him, I sold the brownstone. He was like, what? That was your mother's brownstone. Here he is minding somebody else's business. And she's telling him, she let him know, yeah, the brownstone that my grandmother left to me, dude. She left it to me so I can sell it if I want. So I'm like understanding both sides, but I'm kind of on Dana's side. Like, well, the house was left to her. She could do what she want with it, right? At least she took it and invested and bought another. And she said, oh, and I bought this nice house online. So you see the generational differences. Like, you bought a house online. They're kind of disgusted, especially the uncle. She uprooted herself. And what you gonna do for a job? She was like, I'm gonna be a television writer. And people don't be respecting the arts like that. They're like, yeah, get a real job. That's basically what they're thinking. So it doesn't go according to her plan like she thought. She thought her aunt would be happy for her. The aunt comes over to the house. Another scene I enjoyed. The house is beautiful, by the way. The aunt comes over to the house, and she's asking all these questions. And I knew just by the way she was asking questions, where's your shower curtain? She just moved in. Relax. Where's your shower curtain? Where's the furniture? Just be happy for me. Damn. That's me looking at the screen like, can't you just be happy for somebody? So anyway, as that's how you can tell I'm enjoying the show. I started getting invested. So anyway, she's like telling her, I think you did this kind of hasty. Then she says something, what people don't like is when you talk about their mama and you talk about some flaws. She said, I think you're a little cuckoo like your mama. You don't do that. People don't like, that's very sensitive. People don't like being called crazy or that something is wrong with them. And, that set her off. So they went into a little argument back and forth. And she told her, you were the princess, this and that, her and Anna going back and forth. So you see there's some dynamics there. She's like, you were more worried about the house and all of that. You were jealous that your mother left the house to me. I was like, And then she was saying, and you want to call me crazy and all that. And then she said, and you're phony because when I was up in New York, bruh, you was down here I can't wait to see you. See, I hate stuff like that. Ooh, I wish you was closer. No, you don't. Now she closer. Now it's a problem. But in the aunt's defense, some of the stuff is a little hazy so I can understand where the aunt is coming from. And Dana, like, come on now, and especially you looking a little restless and crazy, and you haven't taken a shower. Because she said, and you need to take a shower. So anyway, that just goes down bad. And then Dana meets a young man named Kevin. They become romantic. This is an interracial relationship. I did my research. From what I understand in the book, they're already married, but here they're in the dating phase. So he comes over, they're getting to know each other. He's the record collection that she threw out. He's taking the record collection. He's dealing with her, getting to know her, getting to know all about her. And she starts having these dreams. And this was a scene I like, she had this dream. She sees her mother and there's this baby there. She turns the baby over. Now she's in the antebellum South. She didn't move. She didn't teleport. And I'm trying to understand what's happening that she's getting, what is causing that? That's what I was trying to understand. And she doesn't quite know what it is either. At the moment, she thinks she's sleepwalking and dreaming all of this stuff. And she even mentioned to her aunt, I saw my mother in this dream, but that was no dream. So now if something happens again and she has a dream, and I think this time this little boy Rufus, white boy named Rufus. I was like, okay. I mean, stop being ignorant. But I'm not used to the Rufuses I know are black. But hey, whatever. There's white Rufuses. Okay. I guess I'm so shut up, Tyrese. Anyway, what was I saying? So anyway, basically, she got little Rufus. And she saved him. This time she saved him from drowning. And as his father goes to look like he's going to shoot or whatever, she wakes up and she screams. And then this time when she screamed, her boyfriend was there with her. And so because he was there, Kevin was there, he comes to her rescue, helps her, Now, this is what annoyed me. These nosy damn neighbors come knocking on the door. I understand you heard a noise, but see, you need to be careful too, because if I hear a noise, I'm not knocking on nobody's door. Let me just call the cops or something like that. Or maybe that's probably a little bit safe. If you really think somebody's in some danger, you don't approach. Because if you thought she was being harmed or killed, why would the two of you approach the door like that? I'm like, yeah, whatever. But they're being really obnoxious and just ridiculous. And like, you're saying, oh, we're the neighbors. We heard noise. This is a really quiet neighborhood. He said, listen, she had my girlfriend. She lives here. She had a bad dream or whatever. So she's a little startled. And they're like, well, is she all right? And they're looking past him. And then they had enough. Well, who are you? It's like, you're doing too much. That's too much. You're doing too. Automatically, I don't like the neighbors. They doing too much. They saying too much. I didn't like their approach to things. There's a way to do things. You could just say, is everything all right? Keep down the noise, stuff like that. But it was the way they were saying things. So I ain't like them automatically. And I'm like, is it somehow somebody can handle them? Can somebody punch one of them in the face or something? I was irritated by the neighbors immediately. So anyway, they have her and Kevin are having a conversation. And I think he called her a princess or whatever. And she got pissed off by that because I guess triggered her and made her feel like, I think her aunt called her that too. I guess she feels like, she says, well, listen, you got money to uproot from New York and come to LA. But he said he ain't mean no harm by it. But she was in her feelings. And she said, leave right now. But before he could leave, she done got sucked back into the antebellum South. And she's down there. Now she's in the dark and running. Oh, it was crazy. And I was sitting at my TV like, wow, this is really good. Because I want to know what is causing her to be transported like that. What's going on here? So this time, they tell her, this guy meets her. He said, listen, she runs from the little boy. Little boy said, you that little N-word lady that's been saving me, that N-word angel, whatever. So they recognize her. They remember her. She don't have a clue what's going on. The guy said, listen, you need to go down there to such and such street and you'll find your mama 2 rows down and this and that. And she encounters some guy, some white man. That was really scary. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to this woman? So when she goes and she meets her mother, we find out that her mother is a time traveler too, but the only difference is the mother doesn't. I say quantum leap because I'm a quantum leap fan too. The mother doesn't leap back to present day. The mother is still in the slave time, so I guess she had that same issue. So when they were saying, when her aunt was saying that the mother was a little crazy, actually she probably was going through that same thing, that whole transporting back in time stuff, but then somehow she just got stuck. Now, to my understanding, the mama's not in the book. Ain't no time traveling mama in the book. That's something they added for the series. That's what I was told. So anyway, I was like, wow, interesting. And I'm trying to understand, so what happened, because they told Dana that her mother was dead, that the father was dead, and they died in a car accident. Dana's mama don't know anything about the father being dead, and she was like, well, how old are you? And she said, I've been trapped down here this long. That is crazy. So then, they get found out. She gets found out. The mother tells her, listen, we got to run. The white guy is chasing them. He gets the best of her. Then her mother hits him or whatever. Then when she wakes up, she wakes back up, and she's back at the house. And so the thing is, she's like, I'm crazy. And I think when she wakes up, she has the bruises and stuff from what happened back in the day when she goes. That is crazy. It's so good. I thought it was really good. But luckily, she got a boyfriend that was there. He witnessed. He said, I watched you vanish. Like right when you was telling me get out the house. Wouldn't that be something every time your girlfriend argued with you, she just disappeared? I was like, look at, but it was like, as soon as you was telling me get out, I was in hot water, and you just poop, you disappeared. So I watched you disappear. You're not crazy. And I watched you come back. And I was like, wow, I'm invested. So I gotta watch the rest of these episodes and get my review. So that's it. That's all I have to say right now. I'm enjoying this so far. Check it out. The first episode was called Dana. You probably have run through these. I would have, if it wasn't so late. I probably would have watched all 8 episodes, but I had other things to do. But I will get back to reviewing this. I will watch the rest of them and give you my thoughts on them. I thoroughly enjoyed this first episode, and I'm invested. But again, I haven't read the book, so I don't have anything to compare it to. So that's that. But that's all I have. Tell me your thoughts below. How do you like the series so far? And do you like it? Don't you like it? Why don't you like it? I'm enjoying it. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video.